Okay, on this first problem, remember that our rules are that when you're multiplying, okay, and the bases are the same, you're supposed to add the exponents. So it'd be y, and then you have 3 plus 5. So your simplified answer is y to the 8th. One of the reasons this happens is because y to the 3rd is 1, 2, 3. Y to the 5th is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, if you count them all up, how many do you have? You have 8. That's where you come up with y to the 8th. Next, here's the next two problems. First off, when you're dividing, okay, the rule is you're supposed to subtract the exponents. So you should get for an answer x to the 3rd. Well, the reason you get this, x to the 7th, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All over x to the 4th. That means there's 4 of them down here. Well, these two cross each other out. These two, and these two. What are you left with? You're left with x to the 3rd. Okay, if you're watching this video, I would pause it. I would try and do number 3 and come back and see how you do. Now, again, right here, you're dividing, so you're going to subtract the exponents. My base is b. You always take the top number minus the bottom, so you have 6 minus 3, which is 3. The next one here, I have c. There's c in the top and the bottom. You take the top minus the bottom. 5 minus 3. I'm sorry, 5 minus 2 is 3. There's the next two. I'd pause the video and come back and see how you did. On this one, if you go and you do the same rules of exponents and take the top minus the bottom, you get m to the 0 power. Anything to the 0 power is just 1. The biggest mistake is people try and tell me that this answer is m. That's not what it is. It's like saying m to the 2nd is m times m, and you have that on the top and the bottom. Well, the m's cancel out. Well, it doesn't just disappear. You have to have a number that holds its place, and that's why it's a 1. The next one, the biggest mistake, look and see, did you put a 12? A lot of people try and subtract those numbers. You need to treat those like normal, like 16 divided by 4, which is 4. The only thing you're subtracting is the exponents, and 4 minus 3 is 1, so you have x to the 1st power, but normally we just write it as x to the 4th. There is 5 and 6. No, try again. That's 6 and 7. Okay, let's pause the video and come back and see how you do. In this case, you would take these two numbers. Whoa, I can't draw a line here. These two numbers together, and you have 27 divided by negative 3. You get negative 9. Okay? Take the top minus the bottom. 4 minus 4 is 0. So I'll go ahead and write this. I'll go back and talk about it in a minute. 4 minus 4 is 0. Top minus the bottom. 6 minus 3 is 3. The C's are in the top and the bottom. 9 minus 2 is 7. Now, I said anything to the 0 power is 1. Well, so this is all just going to disappear because A would all cancel out. So your answer would be negative 9. Whoops. Try that again. Negative 9, B to the 3rd, C to the 7th. Now on this next one, you want to go in here and you want to do this first. Okay, so the first part, I'm just going to have negative 4, x to the 5th, y to the 3rd, z to the 7th. That's going to stay the same. Okay, I'm going to put that in parentheses because I'm going to put whatever's highlighted here and there. Now, what this is actually saying is negative 2xy to the 2nd power means that you do that twice. Negative 2 times negative 2 is 4. X times x is x squared. Y times y is y squared. Now, negative 4 times 4, negative 16. Add the exponents. So you'd have x to the 7th. Y to the 3 plus 2 is 5. Z to the 7th. That's your final answer. There's the next two. I'd pause this video and come back and see how you do. When you're dealing with a power, these are what's called power to a power. And when you're dealing with that, the rule is you actually multiply the exponents. Your answer to this first one, 3 times 4 is 12. It should be x to the 12th, y to the 8th. Now, why that happens, you have x to the 3rd, y squared, and you have that 4 times. Well, 3x's, 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 and 3x's, 3 plus 3 plus 3, that's 12. Then the y's, 2, 4, 6, 8. This one right here, again, a power to a power. Multiply, you should have gotten y to the 20th. That's because that's the same as saying y to the 4th 5 times. Next, pause that video and see, come back and see how you do. All right, look closely on your paper. What did you do with these? Did you say the answer was 4? Because that's not right. It should be, it's a fraction. It's 1/4. 4 over 16 reduces to 1/4. Here's the next mistake that happens. You're going to take the top number minus the bottom number. The number down here is 1. So -7 minus 1, that's -8. So you have x to the -8. Now the y's, the top number minus the bottom. Y to the -1. What happens here with the z's? They cancel out because they make 1, so that just goes away. Now this is one way you can write your answer. Or another way to get rid of the negative exponents, it would be 1 over 4 x to the 8th y to the first power. Because right now this is in the numerator, and to change those to positive, you have to put them in the denominator where the 4 is. Looking at number 11, well, there's nothing here. This just is 2x squared times y to the 0 power. What's anything to the 0 power right here? It's 1. So this times 1 is just the same, 2x squared. There's the next two. I would pause that video and come back and see how you did. First off, 8 divided by 4, 2. Here's the mistake, is in the exponents here. This is actually n to the -6. -3 minus 3. R's, there's a 1 right here. 1 minus 2. R to the -1. 2 minus 1 for the t's is t. You can write it like this. If you wrote it with positive exponents, you would have 2t on top, n to the 6th r below. Both of these are correct. You don't know which way they'll show them on your test. Number 13. Well, what is 3 over 9? 1/3. Now, x divided by x, that goes away. The y's cancel out and the z's cancel out. All you have is 1/3.